times make for hard goodbyes. That don't make it hard to cry. Dreams turn into angles. I just hope we all arrive. All's fair when there's love and war. I just hope we all survive. Swear I could wait for you all my life. So glad that I found your love. Oh, what a time it was. Whole world set on fire. Yeah, that'd be fine with us. Sunshine turn to moonlight. Love has no time to us. Thought I was ready to find true love. It was like light speed. We were just moving too fast for me. I might seem like I always try to look past your needs. I need to see all the things that life has for me. I just can't take the pull of this gravity. Yeah. I done dreamed, seen so many things, I done been around. All my life, swear I meant the things that we said aloud. It's been hard, but I promise I'm gon' make it better now. Girl, I'm making plans. Girl, I'm making plans. Though it seems like we're never getting back together now. In due time, we locked in forever now. Life gon' light speed, but one it will settle down. Girl, I'm making plans. Girl, I'm making plans. All my life I'ma get it for you. You deserve it cause you got it all the times that you been there for me. Baby, no, I ain't forgot it all. Had to take some time so I could grow. Baby girl, I hope you understand. Cause right now I'm leaving as a boy, but I'm coming back to you, man. I know you might not be waiting for me. Girl, I know that you got other plans. All the love you got, just save it for me. Don't go give it to another man. Just because we on delay don't mean that we can get this thing another chance. I believe that we can be in love once again. Every night, every noon, every day, I just pray that it all work out. All my life trying to get to this cake, but I stay feeling all burned out. So afraid of the grave that I think to myself, would it's all work now? I'm trying to find myself, but I want her now. I done dreamed, seen so many things, I done been around. All my life, swear I meant the things that we said aloud. It's been hard, but I promise I'm gon' make it better now. Girl, I'm making plans. Girl, I'm making plans. No, it seems like we're never getting back together now. In due time, we locked in forever now. Life gon' light speed, but one day we'll settle down. Girl, I'm making plans. Girl, I'm making plans. So today, I'm gonna try to keep it short. Hope y'all doing all right. But I hope you really enjoyed the episodes. Like this last one, I'm not gonna lie, I really enjoyed making it. But like I say, today I'm not gonna talk about a whole lot. The one thing I want to talk about though is being present. And obviously that's a common theme. Like that's not a new term or anything, but it's really been on my mind because I'm starting to realize how invested I am into my career. Is that a wasp? Stop playing with me, cuz I'm finna get up. Anyways, nah, stop playing with me, cuz. Oh no, I don't even know what that is. That's like a fly or something. I don't know what that is. I'm finna get you up out of there, gang. Yeah, we'll get you up out of there. Anyways, okay. It wasn't a wasp. It wasn't a wasp. It wasn't a wasp. Yeah, they blew me with that. I ain't finna lie. I was like, nah, I ain't finna. It ain't that deep. It just ain't that deep. I promise you, it's not. Anyways, let me get to the point. So speaking of being present, the reason why I talk about it is because lately it's been on my mind, and the reason that it's been on my mind is because I realize how being so invested in myself has kind of robbed me of certain moments and relationships around me that I'm not gonna say I haven't that I could have benefited from, but just more so my overall experience in life. And when I say that, and the reason I was inspired by that is because there's this guy at my job. He's really cool, and
one thing about him, he always asked me how my weekend was, and he always asked me how I'm doing. And at first I'm not I'm a very chill, relaxed kind of person, so I don't really need to be talked to. Like I just kind of do what I need to do and go about my day. But he always was very intentional about building a relationship in some kind of way. And what I noticed was I really valued that. Like I really value him appreciating my presence and appreciating who I was, and ultimately we built somewhat of a bond. And not super deep, not anything super crazy, but it was enough for me to consider him a friend. And what I realized was that I learned things about him, he learned things about me, and now I feel like I have another person that I can connect to, and all from the fact that he was willing to just ask me how I was doing. And I've noticed that in my relationships, I'm not there for the people that need me to be there for them simply because I'm so invested into what it is that I want out of life. Um, I mean, the only thing that I think about is my career. The only thing that I think about is how I'm gonna get to the next level. And I think that on the back end, then I'll come around and say, hey, all right, how are you? I've always thought like, okay, let me get this money first, and then I'll be able to give you the money, and that's what's gonna make you happy, and that's what's gonna be able to buy the trips, and mom, I'm gonna buy you a house, and I'm gonna do all these things. When in reality, I mean, calling them on the week, calling them throughout the week, and asking them how their day was, and you know, checking up on the people that you love is probably more than enough. But I just kind of lost sight of that out of, I guess you could call it obsession. Because at the end of the day, I really want to be great at what I want to do, and it just requires so much sacrifice, and it requires so much stress. Um, but that being said, I think what's helping me or aiding me in my journey of becoming more present is doing my tasks as they need to be done. I think procrastination is probably one of the worst things that can happen to you, not because the tasks don't get done, but they make you less efficient. And what happens is your stress level goes up the more you have to worry about. So if you're constantly being efficient in your task and you're constantly getting things done as they need to be done, I really do believe that it allows you and it opens you up to experience the world in a more, I guess you can just say, in a current way, because you're not worried about what's coming and you're not worried about what has been. You're just in the moment. It allows you to be in the moment. Um, I guess that's the best way I could put it. And yeah, I mean that's kind of where I want to be, and I think that as I'm able to build and be more in the moment, it'll make my art even better. Just because I'll be able to, life imitates art. So if I'm able to be more consumed by where I am and what I'm doing, it'll make me more attentive, and I can just add that back to where it is that I want to be. Because if you think about in life, and this is another thing that I've been kind of looking about. It's like, bro, you can only control. There's only two things. You have preparation and you have opportunities, and that's pretty much what success is. You have preparation, and you have opportunity. 1 + 1 = 2. In my mind, that's about the simplest way it can be. And one of these things you can control, and the other one you can't control. So if you're preparing efficiently, then when those opportunities come, you'll be ready, and you don't have to worry about them because you can't necessarily make them come. They're just gonna come whether they do or whether they don't. You can only just be prepared. And sometimes the priority of that preparation will have to take place. But if it will have to switch places. Like if there are changes in your life, sometimes you're gonna have to prioritize how you prepare differently. And that's okay because everybody's process is different. But if you're always making sure that you're holding yourself accountable and you're being efficient, then I mean ultimately there's really nothing to worry about, and it allows you to be more in the moment. So it's like, the word says faith without works is dead. So I do know that you have to sacrifice time and you have to really be involved in what it is that you want to do and what you're believing God for. But, dog, don't be irresponsible with what He's giving you. You're still responsible. You have to steward the gifts. You know what I mean? So that's and I keep saying you, right? But it's honestly like I'm talking to myself. This is kind of, if you want to know what my head sounds like while I'm just stacking up boxes, 01, 02. If you know, you know. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But um that being said, this is what goes on in my mind. And like I said, when I'm saying you, I'm talking about me. So that's kind of what my journey has looked like. And I think that in the long run, I mean, I've just learned so much in the last couple weeks about my friends, about my grandparents, about my mom, like, and I've just seen how, because I kind of prayed about trying to be more of an empath, just because I feel like I've been so self-consumed that I've almost lost touch with how my actions make other people feel. And it's not that I'm intentionally trying to be dismissive. It's just that it's almost like I'm trying to do it for them, but sometimes maybe they don't see how hard it is to really accomplish what it is that I'm looking to do, you know? So I internalize all that stress and then try to hide it, but reality is they just get it in another form. They experience it from me in another form. Instead of me just explaining it to them, it's more so like they actually go through it with me. But instead of it bringing us closer, it brings us it takes us farther apart, you know? So like I said, I don't want to go too far into it or harp on it too much, but for anybody that's watching, I just want you to know that the relationships that you build with people and the friendships, the experience that you have while you're on your journey is the most important part. It's not, you're not gonna get the money and then turn around and be able to recover all of the time and experiences that you missed. So please understand that there's things that you can control and there's things that you can't control. And there are things that are important and there are things that are less important. And never put yourself in a position where you're prioritizing entirely the money and success over the people that you love. Because when you get that money, dog, I just don't think that it's gonna be. I can't tell you that it's gonna be enough to rekindle and really uphold and make up for all the lost time. You know, so listen to that hour-long talk with your pops when he calls you and he's like, man, and give you this long 4 hour lecture about something. Listen to, call your grandparents, even though they might say the same thing over and over. Or call your mom, even though she might say the same thing over. Or your girl, to listen to her problem. Like, take all of that in because it's a blessing. You have people in your life, your friends. Take all that in, bro. And like I say, this is me talking to myself, you know? So, um, it's a blessing. The Lord gave it to you, and don't take it for granted because just like that, anybody can be gone. Even small interactions, you know, it's all worth it. It's all worth your time, and in the end, when you get to where you're going, you can take along that stuff with you. Um, so that's all I got. Um, as a matter of fact, you guys have even helped me in this area. So I mean, yeah, I'm glad to be here, and yeah. I think the most important part that I can say is just learn to be present because everything that you have right now is extremely valuable. And you don't want to lose it in pursuit of what you're going to come into in the future. So take what you have now, nourish it so you can take it with you. And you won't have to come back and get it. You know? That's all I got. All right, y'all. Um, today's God Talk is going to be about relationships, but more so the relationship with God. Um, kind of not gonna take too much of your time, but I just kind of want to um, give you some game or give you some tips onto what it is and actually like why it's important and how to use it. You know what I'm saying? So that being said, just to give you a little bit of background, when I first came to Christ and like when I first started trying to figure all this out, I was kind of in it because I knew that I didn't have all the answers to making things work and making my life the best that it could be. I wanted to be successful. I think a lot of us want to be successful. I wanted to be have a big house, nice cars. I had a lot of opportunities. I was really smart. I have a lot of things that I know could create a really good life for the people around me, and I knew that I didn't have all the answers. So I went to God, and what happened was when I went to God, most people who follow the Lord will tell you to do two things as a way to grow closer to Him and really grow a relationship with Him. Um, they'll say pray and read the Word. But if you think about your motive, if your motive is to get $1 million, right, quote unquote, how is praying and reading the Word gonna get you $1 million? That was always my biggest issue. I just didn't understand. I'm like, bro, look, I get it. Pray, read the Word. What do that have to do with getting money? You know what I'm saying? I didn't get it all the way. So I was like, okay, I don't know. But what I'm starting to learn and what I've started to learn recently is that praying and reading the Word is about learning who God is. Because part of having a relationship with God is the fact that you're gonna have to surrender your will. You're gonna have to surrender what it is that you think is right in order for Him to replace it with something that He knows is right. Because you have to remember, God knows everything. So essentially, the only thing you really have to do is trust Him. So when you read the Word and when you pray, essentially when I read the Word, I see a lot of examples of things that are like, wow, like, oh, you did this. Oh, He had to trust you. Oh, He had to trust you, and this is how it turned out. He trusted you. That's how it turned out. All right, I'll get this over to you because that's a cycle that happens over and over and over. Like, it's not like you trust God one time and then things just work out. Like, no, 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 no. It's like a cycle. It continues. But what the cycle does, it grows. It's a growth thing. You know what I'm saying? So, like, hold on. There's like this tree over here, right? Hold on. Like that tree, right? We're looking at this tree. I mean, I gotta flip my camera. That tree, super tall, got a bunch of branches in it. But at one point, it was a seed. You know what I mean? And there were years and years and years and years like that tree over there that passed. And these trees, they grew more branches and they grew more leaves, and ultimately they've been cut down. There are a bunch of things that have happened over a period of time that have allowed them to become what they are. And that might be a little cheesy, but to be honest, oh, hold on, my bad. Hold on. You're gonna have to hold on. You're gonna have to tighten that back down. Tighten that back down. Oh, yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm really going to my TD Jakes right now. You feel me? Ah, yeah, oh God, with the parables. Ah, I swear to God. Anyways, nah, for real though. So we're the same way, right? So this process of surrendering and this process of learning to trust Him in new ways just keeps happening over and over and over again. But reading the Word just helps you to reinforce that you can trust Him, right? So that's the first key. But the second key, and the reason why that is so important, is because in that relationship, a lot of the times I've noticed with me, it contextualizes all the stuff that I'm going through. So, like, when you think about it, there's a lot of things in life that you have to go through that aren't necessarily pleasant. But when you realize that the Lord is in control, and you think back on times where things weren't so pleasant and you got through it, and you think about more things that have happened and you were able to overcome them, and God was with you the whole time, it makes you develop patience and all these different fruits that allow for you to get through the different trials. You get what I'm saying? It's like you're acquiring little stones and gems along the way, and it all ties back to your trust in your relationship and your belief in God, so that you can trust His word that you read over everything around you, simply because it worked the last time and it worked before that, right? It just reinforces itself. So that being said, when I think of contextualized areas in my life, I kind of want to separate it in a couple things, like struggle and discomfort, right? We hate that. I hate that. And it would be very difficult for me to endure it without context. It's kind of like when you get a scratch on your knee and you're a little kid, and when you're 5, that's the biggest thing that's ever happened to you in your whole life. But when you're 25, it's kind of like, I understand it's really not that big of a deal. So I keep going. You get what I'm saying? It works the exact same way with your faith. So a lot of times, and I'm drawing this back to the parallel or that example of success. I told you I started following Christ because I wanted to be successful to some degree. And when I think of this equation of success, you have preparation, opportunity equals success, right? Well, there's two things. One of these you can't control, and one of these you can control. And if I focus on my preparation, then the Lord will provide the opportunities for me to be successful. So that contextualize all the BS that I go through during this phase, right? So if it's really hard, like working out, if you have to run a mile and you throw up 15 times, you might hate throwing up, but at the end of the day, when you get your opportunity to compete in the Olympics and you win, then all the things that you went through over here prepared you for this, which then created this. It's very simple, but a lot of the times it's hard because you don't know where this is coming from. So a lot of the times you focus on this. And in this niche, or this, I wouldn't say niche, but I watch a lot of self-help content, and I watch a lot of, because I'm very focused on being great. I just want to put that out there. Like, I really want to be great. And a lot of the times where there's this content of helping people and communities of people that want to be great, you have two bridges of the gap. And it's like, you do all the work, you get all the glory. Or you pray a whole lot and things work out and God gets all the glory, but you don't have to do any of the work. But I believe that it's a mix of the two. It's God gives you things, he gives you gifts, he gives you circumstances, he gives you a bunch of different things. You do all the work that you can with it. He provides you with the things that you can't control, and then you're able to win. So it's like, it's both. It's all of it. It's this long big equation. But here's the thing. Within that preparation, not only do you get the quote unquote success, but you also get all the character traits and everything that makes you to be a better person and a better version of yourself than you were before you got it. So you can maintain it better. It just makes the most sense for me. So it's kind of like how I talked about in the last talk. Don't skip over God to try to go get the success and then try to come back and start going to Bible study and church and whatever because you think that they aren't related. They are. They actually are. And the thing is, if you skip God, you won't get all the other things that'll help you when you get to where you want to go. So I overall can just say it's been more of an enjoyable process. To be honest, it's not like it's been this thing that, I mean, there are parts of it that aren't, I guess, the most fun, but that's with anything. But developing the patience that I developed, developing the work ethic and the toughness that has come through this journey has simply been because I've trusted and leaned on God, and it's made us closer. So then the next thing that comes, I'll be ready for. You get what I'm saying? I'm telling you, this relationship thing is very weird, but I'm just trying to show what I learn as I go about. Um, and it's so funny because I always tell y'all, bro, most of the stuff I think about while I'm stacking boxes, 0-1, 0. Bro, I just did my last day like a couple days ago because I'm getting ready to start my internship, and I just wanted to put that out there. Like, this is all still very much in the trenches. You know what I mean? This is all my thoughts. This is how all of it's coming about. And this is the stuff that I'm learning. So I think it can be applied, you know? But yeah. What else is it? Is there anything else? Yeah. I guess what I'm saying is the main thing is trust the Lord. Trust the Lord for your success, right? Trust the Lord for your overall success. And there's one scripture that I kind of want to talk about. Jeremiah 29:11. We can read it real quick. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even finna waste all the time, but I do want to read it just so for people that don't read the Bible or don't know what I'm talking about, I got to give y'all a little bit of context. Says, hold on. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope in the future. I feel like that pretty much describes exactly what I just said. It's like, he already knows what he's giving you, and it was purposeful. So therefore, the desires, everything, it's all there for a reason. So what I'm saying is, you don't have to be scared. You don't have to be frightful. You don't have to worry. Just trust him and keep going down the path, giving it everything that you can give, because the opportunity that he's prepared you for, the preparation has to come before that. The opportunity that he's giving you, you have to go through the preparation process before you get there. So trust him, build the relationship with him along that journey, and when you get to that opportunity, it'll only be like the cherry on top. You know what I'm saying? Don't focus so much on what you think that you want at the moment. Just trust him. That's really the best way to put it. You can trust him. I promise you, you can. So
I done dreamed seen so many things I done been around. All my life swear I meant the things that we said aloud. It's been hard, but I promise I'm gonna make it better now. Girl, I'm making plans. Girl, I'm making plans. Though it seems like we're never getting back together now. In due time, we locked in forever now. Life gon' light speed.